Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. The question we have about zakat. Someone's asked, Assalamu alaikum. Could you please explain on which amount we should calculate the zakat of 2.5%? Is it correct that it is better to give it in the month of Ramadan? Many thanks. So, um, there are, I think, two or three things here. Firstly, uh, which items are included in zakat? Zakat, yes, is 2.5%. And the month of does it have to be paid during the month of Ramadan? So the assets that are calculated in zakat, that are included in zakat, are assets that are assets such as cash, your savings, or any other cash that you have, any shares from stock exchange, any pensions, which is in your reach, gold and silver, business goods, etc. That's what you have to pay zakat on. Now, gold and silver includes all the jewelry, according to Hanafi school and according to other ulama. Um, Gold and silver, which the jewelry item for women are not included in when calculated in zakat. They're not taken into consideration. Other personal items such as your IT equipment that you use, your home, the value of the home that you live in, furniture, cars, any cars that you have, unless they are for trade purpose. Um, the cars that you use regularly, you, your spouse, your children, there is no zakat on these items. So just to repeat, zakat's calculated on cash, on the value of shares, any pensions that you may have, gold and silver that you may own, and all the business goods, and income from investment property. These are zakatable items. Now, the zakat of the value of whatever the total value, 2.5% of that worth, that value, has to be given out in zakah. Now, does it have to be calculated in the month of Ramadan? No, it does not have to be calculated in the month of Ramadan. So when should it be calculated? It should be calculated exactly a year after you acquire you acquire some wealth, which is any of the standards of zakat, whether it's in terms of silver or gold. So as soon as you acquire the possession of that value, as soon as you become owner of that much amount, which works out to be around about 236, 238 pounds in today's worth. So if you had whenever you acquire 236 pounds, exactly a year later, from according to the lunar calendar, which is 10 days shorter than the Gregorian calendar, you'll have to pay zakat. So it's not true that you have to pay zakat only in Ramadan. It can be paid any time of the year. In fact, it should be paid exactly a year when the year is complete. However, because there's added virtue of the charity in the month of Ramadan, people prefer doing it in this month, and plus it's easy to calculate, easy to work it out. So when we talk about Ramadan, it's not the whole month that you use for zakat. You need to set a date in the month of Ramadan. Maybe normally people fix it as the first of Ramadan. So whatever they have on the first of Ramadan, they'll pay zakat on it. So if you bring it a year in advance, so say you had your first time you came, or you became the owner of, you acquired for the first time 236 pounds in your life. You say you acquired them in the month of June. So next year in the month of June, the zakat will become compulsory on you. But rather than waiting for the month of June, as soon as the month of Ramadan starts, which this year started in April, you just calculated your zakat and you paid it out. That's perfectly fine. But you also need to remember that take a rough estimate of what you might own by the 1st of June, when the year is complete. If you think that you're likely to get more in the next couple of months, then you must include that in your zakat calculation at the time. Otherwise, if you didn't, then when if you paid, say, like you're expected to have 10,000 pounds in your possession by the 1st of June, and you paid zakat according to that, but on the 1st of June you had, say, 15,000. So you will still have 5,000 pounds left, or which you'd not paid zakat on the 1st of Ramadan. So 1st of June, whichever date that you have fixed, according to that, it'll have to be matched with the lunar calendar. On that date, you will have to pay zakat on whatever is left in our example, 5,000 pounds. So you can pay zakat in Ramadan, but make sure zakat is not necessarily linked with Ramadan. Zakat is about paying charity giving away to charity after having benefited from the ni'mats of Allah Azza wa Jal, from the favors of Allah for a year. So as soon as the year is complete, zakat becomes compulsory. If somebody wants to pay earlier, then that's perfectly fine, but you shouldn't delay it. Delaying it unnecessarily can lead to sin. May Allah grant us understanding and may He give us the tawfiq.